So after spending 4 months in Israel and 1 month in England, Connie and I returned to the United States in late November. And just after Christmas, we traveled by car. We had a little Volkswagen Bug. We traveled by car to Moline, Illinois. Now, Connie and I never lived that far east before, but when we graduated from Bible college, we were interviewed by an associate pastor there at the church, the Moline Gospel Temple, by a guy by the name of Gary Curtis, who was on staff there. And we wound up accepting a position on staff there as college career pastors and senior adult pastors, and some other things that we did, contingent on the fact that we would be able to go to Israel for several months. Now, originally we were going to come in March, but because we moved the time forward, we were able to go after Christmas. And our first meeting there with the staff of the church was to plan a Sunday school contest. And that was just after Christmas. Actually, it was right at New Year's Eve. And we didn't really know a lot about living in the cold and the snow. And so we had this meeting at this place and came out to leave. And I could not even move the gear shift on our Volkswagen. And so I was asked, well, did you winterize your car? And I said, what is that? So the car spent the night at a auto shop owned by one of the guys in the church, and they winterized our car, changing the oil with the viscosity, I guess, had to be different. In any event, that was our kind of introduction there. After we've been there for a little while, just a couple of weeks, we there's a knock on our door, and there's a man by the name of Harvey Schmidt who owned a couple of Maid Rights. These it's kind of a sloppy Joe, only not as sloppy, and it was just meat and pickles and all that on the inside. And Harvey was a part of the church, and he said, Jim, do you and Connie have a television? And I said, no, we don't. So we lived in this apartment right next to the church, and he said, well, just a minute. He came back with a portable color TV set. And so we had a TV, which was kind of our link to the outside world. Here we were in a community of about 400,000 people, and all around that was farming community, right on the Mississippi River. And it was different. Life was different. And it was underscored by, on that Monday night, after we got the television, we tuned in to the NFL game on Monday night. Howard Cosell at that time was one of the commentators. And the last commercial before they switched, at that time they would have local television, and then they would switch to the national. And the last commercial was a manure commercial. And we just looked at each other and go, wow. We're not in Los Angeles anymore. So that was a bit of a culture shock all by itself. But we're grateful for that gift from Harvey, and that really kind of characterized a lot of our relationships there as we continued in that place. We met some interesting people there. I want to talk about those. But there we were, our first place of ministry. And we had the pleasure, really, and the difficult pleasure, actually, of working in that church for 2 years and 7 months. With Pastor Charles Hollis and his wife Ruth. Tremendous people, great evangelists, both of them. He was quite a preacher. She was a good teacher. I enjoyed her ministry, actually. And Ruth and Charles Hollis taught us a lot about life and ministry. It was a hard time for us in many ways, but it was a good time. And I thank God for the influence that this couple had in our lives as we began our ministry and started our family with the birth of our first daughter, Karen Lois. So more about these things later. That's it for now.